Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review MPD-Psycho Volume 1. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys like and lets me make better content for the channel. So let's get straight into this thing. So this manga is, before I start anything, extremely graphic, extremely bloody, extremely adult. So I think it's 18 plus. So not for the kiddies, but very, very fucking good. It's very akin to like the show Hannibal, if you've seen that. And it's a very similar premise too. So this is a manga by Sho Tajima and Eihi Otsuka. Apologies if I mispronounce these names. Basically, it's kind of like there is a serial killer who ends up helping cops solve other crimes that are from serial killers and stuff. So it's a premise that's been done, but there's a twist on this one, and then also I'm sure it gets crazier. So this is just volume 1, and I gotta say the beginning of it was a little confusing because, like I said, the premise of this is there's a serial killer who is helping cops, but that serial killer has multiple personalities. One of them is a cop, and then it also has multiple other serial killer personalities as well. So stay with me here. I know it's kind of confusing, but we will work through it. I had to read this a couple times to fully kind of grasp exactly what happened. So at the very beginning of this, we are introduced to Detective Yosuke Kobayashi, and he is, I guess, the main character at the beginning of this. He is on trial for it'd be like first-degree manslaughter of someone who was killed in like the process of apprehension. But what they don't know, and what the court doesn't know, is that was actually one of Kobayashi's like serial killer personalities. So and this is kind of confusing because Kobayashi's on trial because he is known to the rest of the world as Kobayashi at this point. Then, but the person who's actually in the courtroom is his first personality of a serial killer named Kazuhiko Amamiya. And so that is the personality that has taken over completely now. He's the main personality. There is no more Detective Kobayashi at the beginning of this. So the main character for the rest of this book, except for when they flash back to exactly what happened that night, is actually Amamiya. And it's interesting because he seems like the main personality because he is aware of the other two personalities, because there's another serial killer in there as well as Kobayashi. So like I said, it's a little confusing, but it is very cool and very interesting when they switch. Each one is written well so that they do have personality switches, and it's mainly like for dramatic purposes when they do switch, because we as the reader don't always know which one we're listening to until you see the dialogue change fonts or like the lettering, or they do something out of character from the main Amamiya. So like, yeah, it's a very interesting book to read. Like I said, I had to read it a couple times to fully comprehend exactly what happened at the beginning. It's like the first time I read it, by the middle of it, I was like following everything that was going on because it kind of got into the main storyline of, okay, Amamiya is now helping the police solve crimes of serial killers, some of who are actually him. And he doesn't know it though. So what happens is basically there's a woman. I'm not sure if I guess she's working for a government agency that's above the police because she's able to get Amamiya out. And her name is Machi Isono. And so Isono is able to get him out, and she basically, is like his caretaker too. So he has to stay with her. She's in charge of him. She and when I say in charge of him, she's responsible. So if he murders anyone or does anything bad, it's all on her, kind of thing. But I guess there's so many serial killers going on that they need help, and he's able to help them. So at first she gets him to help with like a cannibal serial killer, and then there's like a main serial killer that comes into play, who like turns people into plants. We'll say he keeps them alive and grows plants in their brains, and these are specifically women too. I should say a lot of the graphicness in this is, you know, horrible things done to women. You know, as these serial killers are men, they tend to kill women. There is one female serial killer who eats men, so there's that too. But a lot of it is just like body parts, you know, graphically having fucked up things happen to them, and you know, the condition of these bodies and people when they find them from the serial killers is not good. So, but yeah, basically, the main big serial killer in this one that he's trying to help Isano find is this guy who plants in women's brains after he kidnaps them, and like he like literally cuts the top of their heads off. Their brain is exposed. He plants a plant in their brains. It takes root. It starts living and thriving, and then he will like go plant them. And he's actually an architect, like a famous architect around town. So he plants them around buildings that he's built, so that he can go visit the buildings and like drink coffee and look at them and shit. And because he's the only one that knows where they're at, kind of thing. So very fucked up, very weird. To me, like I said, this is kind of a plot that has been done. Like if you've read the Hannibal books, those are a very similar story, but it is different in the fact that, you know, like I said, multiple personalities are kind of thrown into this. And I do think, because it's manga, that future volumes are going to throw wrenches into this, so it doesn't get, you know, boring as far as, oh, he's back in this state and they're just solving another crime, and you know, it's not going to end up being like a procedural or something. But yeah, it's really fucked up. It's really good. It kept me on my toes the whole time. I was always thinking like, what the fuck is going to happen next? And basically just a solid manga all around that doesn't hold your hand, definitely treats you like an adult, and is really good. So I'm going to give this book a 4.5 out of 5. The art was fantastic. The writing was really good. And it was a creepy book. And I've read a lot of, you know, creepy books and creepy horror movies and stuff. I've watched a lot of that. And like I said, it was up there with the Hannibal TV show. If you like that, definitely check this book out. It was very, very good. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next one.